Welcome! Let me talk about trusses. Trusses are important structures both in civil engineering and mechanical engineering. So let me introduce their basic properties. By knowing these properties, you will be able to analyze trusses by calculating the inner forces. You are surrounded by trusses. For example, there are lots of bridges, which are trusses in mechanical modeling. Or you can also think of the steel structure of the skyscrapers. But maybe the most famous truss structure is the Eiffel Tower. The mechanical model of a truss bridge can be taken as an example. You can see that there is a pin joint and a roller support under the structure. If you look around in your neighborhood, you can probably find a bridge on which you can observe that it is in fact connected to a pin joint. The pin joint is needed to allow rotations, so deformations caused by the heat do not stress the bridge too much. You can also observe that the bridge has dilatation elements which allow displacement and can be modeled by roller supports. Now that you surely know what trusses are, let's see its properties. Considering the geometry, you should know two properties. Firstly, trusses consist of straight rigid beams. Secondly, these beams are connected through ideal pin joints at their ends. Considering the loads, you should know that they only act at the pin joints. Therefore, all kinds of distributed forces are neglected, for example, gravity is neglected. As the loads can only act at the pin joints, all beams become two force members. There can only be two forces acting on each beam, one at one end and the other at the other end. These forces can be just reaction forces in the pin joints, or they can be the sum of reaction forces and loads. Anyway, there can only be two of them. As the beams are two force members and they are straight, all inner forces are longitudinal in the beams. By knowing these properties, you can start to analyze trusses, but first join me and I will tell you about the method of joints and the method of sections. These are the two best methods to obtain inner forces in trusses. Thank you for your attention. If you like this lecture, you can check out my statics course for more. You can find a link in the description with which you can buy my course with a discount.